Anyway, and we're back.
And we're here.
Welcome to Meet in the Middle. We've got my brother, Anthony.
I'm back. Hello, Mike.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank God we got the team back together. Shane, how you been, buddy?
Yeah,
You've been gone
nice
for a
to
while.
see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Gang's all here. I'm excited.
I took a spot.
We missed you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's my first time with the originals.
And Ben shaved.
I shaved.
I like it, but like you should have just kept it for Christmas, man.
It just becomes kind of overwhelming. Like I hate having it just catches food and
Kids running up to you asking for things.
You like a
no,
homeless
they usually
look.
like run the other way. Like especially if I'm driving a van, you know, they're like,
God, things have changed. Things have
Oh
changed.
my God. Well, today I want to talk about growing up poor in America. Since I participated in that.
We.
And I didn't know, Shane, you grew up
Yeah,
You know, on the lower
I
end of
definitely grew up on the low end of income. Northeastern Pennsylvania, where I'm from, Wilkes-Barre,
wow.
Scranton, it was a coal mining town, a boom town during the coal mining era, but it was extremely economically depressed. It had a rough go in the 80s. I was born in 78, so growing up in the 80s and early 90s in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, chances are everybody was pretty much poor.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
Joe Biden used to live there, I heard.
He's a great man.
Yeah.
And then, Ben, you didn't grow up poor.
nope.
But you're on the show anyway because we'd like to hear
He
your
wants to make
opinion.
fun of
you
us.
want to
Yeah.
see how the other
I
half
want to see how
lived?
the other half lived.
I'm going to be pretty quiet. I
Okay.
think
If he
throughout
giggles.
this. I feel a bit uncomfortable, but yeah, I can definitely share what it was like to not be poor growing up.
Like when you went to public school, did kids make fun of you for anything?
It's kind of
yeah,
poor.
yeah.
What did they make fun of you for?
Yeah, well, I mean, plenty of things. The most memorable was like I would get made fun of for having more than one pair of shoes at a time.
Oh, God.
Like
That's
that,
crazy.
like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Look
at
at
the
this
time, I was
loser
like,
with two pair of
Yeah.
shoes.
Flip
well, no,
side is-
but the thing was, it wasn't like you loser or anything like that. It was like, damn, who's got two pairs of shoes? You know, like
Mr.
trying
Cool
to like,
guy. Yeah.
no,
Think you're better than me,
like kind of like
bitch?
razzing you for
Do you want to hear the
for
flip
having
side?
stuff.
You
You
want to
know,
hear the flip side to that?
So that
'Cause
was
I have a
weird.
story to that. Flip side to that is my younger brother once had to go to school with two of the same pair, like the left side. Yep, remember? He went to school with only the lefts on.
Do you know why?
Why? I forgot.
Because my mom used to work at Marshall's.
Oh, that's right.
She worked like 3 jobs, raising 6 kids.
Alone.
And in Marshall's, they'd have fucking boxes of shoes. And she picked up 2 lefts
By accident.
by accident. And he wore it for like a week until someone realized this poor kid had 2 lefts on.
That's
And
how poor.
I remember
Difference.
like looking at it, but I remember having the same shoe for like 2-3 years, and gluing the sole
They would
back
fall.
on.
The
Yeah.
sole would fall off.
Yeah, and I'd have to glue that fucker on. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I don't think I know there's some good stories when we're
I find the
younger.
humor in it. I do find the humor.
Tell me a couple of your stories because I can't really find any that I think are funny.
Off the top of my head, some of the good ones, I just forgot them. No,
Yeah.
I like the
Mom liked the cat more.
the cat mom. There was a point in our life where mom, I felt liked the cat more simply because we weren't allowed to piss all over the carpet.
The cat was.
And some people grow up poor and they're like, but we didn't. We were happy. We knew we were poor.
Oh yeah.
We knew we were very poor. And it was, but my mom tried so hard. And she, we always had Sunday meals.
We had a roof.
We always had Sunday meals. Christmas was a playground. My mom was the queen of layaway. Remember layaway?
Mm.
And all year long, she would get things and put it on layaway. And she worked at the stores that had a lot of the toys. So we would wake up and 6 children would have, no joke, the whole room was toys. Remember one year I got the whole Thundercat series
Oh wow,
with the castle?
that's amazing.
my
I do
bro- and
remember
my brothers
Christmas
broke
being a
that.
big deal, even poor. Like my mom was a nurse's aide growing up, and like my father worked factory jobs when I was very young, and we finally like raised out of like having food stamps and stuff like that when he got a job as a prison guard. So he got a strong union job as a prison guard, and that like got us to the point where we could have a little bit more. But I do remember that like it was like where we went and got a new car for the first time.
Whoa.
I was like 12 or 13 years old.
That sounds rich to
And
me.
you had both parents.
We had a lot of cars in the driveway.
Whoa, dude.
No,
we
but
had
like
a lot
when I
of
was
cars in
younger,
the
I can
driveway.
remember that.
None of
And
them
I
worked.
was such a bad kid. I went to public school, and in fourth grade, I set the seat of the bus on fire on the way home. And they were like, that's it, you're going to Catholic school. So I went to Catholic school after that. But Catholic school, there was like 10. In Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, there was a Catholic church and a bar on every other fucking corner. No other businesses, but there was a Catholic church and a bar everywhere. So there was like 7 different Catholic schools to choose from, and there was one right over the hill from my house. And I went there, and it was like $50 a month back then for the kids to go to Catholic school. So a lot of the poor kids went there. It didn't have the same distinction as it does now.
Yeah.
But I could remember like very much so everyone kind of being poor. It wasn't until really I got to high school and they made a sacrifice for me to go to the Catholic high school where I really realized, wait a minute, everybody in my end of town is kind of poor.
Yeah, we were in Toms River, New Jersey, which really was kind of a working class area. And most people, I don't think were wealthy. I remember 1 or 2 friends were kind of wealthier. But what do you think? They were kind of like upper middle class?
It was upper middle class, and then we had areas that were definitely upper
for
class.
sure.
And so it wasn't like we're in this environment where everybody was the same. We were the poorest family in our entire neighborhood.
And that we were big in the
by
church.
far.
And like we were big in the Catholic Church and also St. Joseph's. And I remember distinctly every year they would have the food drive during Thanksgiving, which is like now. They would have the food drive and we would collect cans around the house and we'd bring it in, and everything. We would get the box
of the food
of all the food. They would give it to the poorest parishioner, and we got the boxes all the time.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. Yeah, but Mike though kind of didn't seem poor. You always had a starter jacket. Remember the starter jackets?
I
And
had
you
a
always
job.
kind
Did
of
you
kept
steal 'em?
yourself, and he kept himself polished all the time. Whereas like, I just wore Mike's clothes from 2 years prior and things like that. But I always thought Mike kind of played the part where he could fit in anywhere. But
Well,
like my younger brother is
I
not
fit
so
in,
much.
I fit in fine, but I worked. I had my little landscape company, and I would sell candy at school, and I made a little bit of money. But
So you always had that entrepreneurial spirit even when you were younger?
yeah,
per
I
se?
I knew I wasn't getting clothes or new shoes, so I'd have to go buy
you had
it
to hustle.
myself. I hustled and got it done. But it helped define and make everything that we're experiencing now mean more. But I don't think poor is just financial. I think poor is more defined by not just financial constraints, but family structure. Do you have both your parents?
Yeah.
Is there trauma in the house? Was there drug and alcohol use?
Check.
Is there
Check.
love
Check.
or lack thereof? And what's the overall energy in the home
Yeah.
and parenting? And that's, in my opinion, wealthy and poor. So today it's not really money. I could be middle class right now and I have a very wealthy home because I overcame a lot of shit. So, or you can be super wealthy and you're checking boxes on everything else. You got dysfunctional parents and drug use, and they're fucking mean to you and abusive and negative energy. And
Got kicked
you grew
out
up
of
in
the
a
yacht
poor
club.
environment. So it's not just financial. I look at it as everything.
That's interesting, but it's really a good way to look at it because looking back now at my home, everybody that I grew up with, there was a lot of drug use, there was a lot of alcohol abuse. And the other thing that I think this is one of those things that I realized I was relatively poor growing up. We never had babysitters for anything.
No,
like if our
neither we,
parents went anywhere, if they were going to a fucking party at a bar or whatever, the kids would like stand outside and like they'd find a way to like do that. Or if they went to a party somewhere, it'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I could remember like as a young kid, like hanging out with a bunch of other kids, like falling asleep in the house and shit like that, because that's just what they did. I don't know if it was, I always thought it was the 80s culture at the time, but it also was, we don't have money to pay for a babysitter. You're fucking coming with us.
We definitely went to
wherever
the
we
pubs
go.
once during St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
We'd go to
was that Kathy's
CJ's
bar?
pub.
Cookie's bar. I remember
The pub, yeah.
Me and my brother sitting in the back when we were kids,
Like with
and it was St. Patrick's
corned
Day.
beef and
And
cabbage
they'd
sandwiches.
stick us in the back of the bar in
And
the
my mom-
room,
and they'd get wasted.
and we'd eat corned beef, and like everyone would be like, my mom would be drunk, everybody would be drunk, having a good time. But that didn't happen very often.
No, that was once
only
a
on
year.
St.
But
Patrick's.
but like you said though, like we would have friends who were part of the upper class or upper middle class or whatever. And most of them were very envious of our family. They loved being around our family. My friends loved our, like mom and loved our family. Like I think we were very wealthy in the terms of my mom had 6 children. So there was it was a fun place to be. Come over if you want to knock down a wall, you know, like
there's freedom in poverty.
I was the older brother. It was my 4 younger brothers.
3 younger brothers.
3 younger brothers. Sorry. There's 4 of us. And then I have an older brother and older sister. But,
we would destroy everything.
These 3 kids would destroy the house. And I was very about like, I would do the lawn and I would clean and I wanted the house presentable. And like, I had 3 younger brothers that were psychos and they would get hammers and punch fucking holes in walls and dump paint and like the door would be off the and I'm like, all my toys are broken and
we
they
once
steal my clothes and I'm like, dude, I can't wait to get.
So did you assume the role of parent? Is it safe to say that you kind of
no, Mike didn't really. Mike wasn't that. He would not be there. He would go hang out with his friends.
I would go live at my friend's house. Like I'd live at my friend's house for weeks at a time.
He would collect Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels and stuff, and he'd leave and it was more the 2 younger ones. It was it wasn't really me as much. I was in my own little world, but and we would take a hammer and literally just smash them all for fun. You know that was part of the and Mike would come back to it, or like we found my mom's record collection, and now thinking back, like she had like original Sinatras and we would frisbee them. We thought they were frisbees.
Oh my God.
Like we were very, very, very destructive. Very. But you know, it was fun-ish. But looking back at it, I'm like, oof. Yeah, we weren't the best kids at all.
Well, I mean, just knowing our situation and knowing mom was trying the best she could.
She did an amazing job.
She did a great job, but I knew I didn't want that for my family.
Yeah.
And leveling up in America is actually really, really hard. And I actually pulled some statistics here. So there's 7 levels of like wealth in America. So poverty right now is considered 35,000 or less household income. That was basically us, level 1 when we were kids. Working class, lower income, 35,000 to 55,000 a year. That's level 2. Middle class, 55,000 to 100,000 a year. 4 is upper middle class. This is the top 20%, 100 to 180. Level 5 is wealthy, top 10%, 180 to 250. Level 6 is the top 5%, high net worth, 250 to 400 a year. And then level 7 is the top 1%, 500,000 plus a year with millions in assets.
And that's now.
This is today.
Okay. Yeah, because in the 80s, I mean, I think mom was probably pulling 18, something like that. I remember it being under 20.
But just here's the real statistics that I pulled. To go from level 1, which is poverty, making 35 grand a year, to level 2, making 35 to 55, you have a 40% chance of doing that. That means 60% of the people that grew up in
will never
don't even get out of level 1.
I'm sure
it just continues. And then as you move up to go from like level 1 to level 2 or level 3 or level 4, like it just the odds go down and down and down. So I kind of put together, not to be a douche, but like I'm at level 7. So like to go from level 1 to level 7, it's 0.02 to 0.05% chance.
So can you go back up? I want to see where I am.
1 in 5,000%. Like 1 in 5,000 people. So it's really hard. And just to go from level 1 to like level 4, which is like upper middle class, you only have a 4% chance.
What are the levels
4%
again?
chance. Like 4% of the population actually makes it there. So as I was researching this, I'm like, what the fuck did I do to get the hell from level 1 to level 7, which basically is like a miracle, right? And it's like a statistic miracle. But going from like poverty, this is like, here's straight odds. Working class poverty, level 1, to just wealthy top 10%, it's 1% chance. Like that's fucking hard, dude.
Yeah.
So it's just really hard because you don't have all the advantages. But in reality, they blame the advantages. They blame your skin color. They blame your education. They blame this and that and that. No one gave me a job because of my fucking skin color. And I dropped out of college, right? And so,
but no one didn't give you a job because of your skin color.
Well, we don't know that, but I know they I know they didn't give me a job because of my skin color, because there was African Americans working there that were my boss. So no one was fucking racist in the small firm that I.
But they were your boss.
No,
they were the hiring one.
No, they were a VP there, but they didn't own the company. They didn't hire me.
Do you think that it's because of where, like the era of us growing up?
No, so I wanted to, because I kind of wrote down 10 things that I thought I did that helped me get out of this. And some of these
I'm very interested to hear this.
Yeah, some of these things I didn't realize until I was 37, 38. So I made a bunch of money in my early 20s, and then I lost it in the recession and actually filed bankruptcy and had to make it all back. And during that period, I had the leukemia thing, and I started doing ayahuasca, and it really opened up my mind where I had this realization that everything is created in your mind, in your intentions. And if you really, really believe something, that your mind is the magic. It's not a magic wand that we were taught when we were kids. It's your fucking mind. So if you really believe and you manifest and you work towards it, reality shapes to your mind and your thoughts. And I literally learned this like about 12 years ago. And my not just my income went through the fucking roof, because it's just like I don't care about money anymore, and it just came. But it cleared all my trauma and like really just completely changed my life, where all of those things that I think are a wealthy home, I really wanted for my family. I wanted for my relationship with my wife. So I don't want to bore you guys, but I'm going to talk about my 10 steps, and maybe I'll skip a few of them. But one was acknowledging the past without living in it. And so you can't break what you refuse to name, right? And recognizing trauma and patterns and beliefs that were passed down to me, not to blame, but to free yourself. And that was a big thing that I just mentally went through when I was doing my ayahuasca, was just to get rid of my past and acknowledge it. And forgive what you can't change, right? That was huge for me. Forgiveness is not approval. It's a release, like get it off of me. So that was another thing that I did. Because when you let go of your bitterness, you make room for clarity, strength, and peace. And I think that was a big part of me just like stepping up and realizing that like, that was just a test, man. I was born in that situation as a big fucking, hey, dude, there you go. Good luck on that one, right? You have you have like less than, you have a 60% chance of like staying there in that environment, which is very negative. And then once I got through that trauma and everything, I can establish a vision for my life. Like, who do I want to be? Trauma created a lot of confusion for me.
It's great that you made this the first step, because I think this is really what keeps a lot of people wherever it is that they started with. Yeah. Because I know so many people, like almost everyone I grew up with still lives in my hometown. And the biggest thing is that they're stuck with the idea that this is all that they can accept in their life. And they have a lot of excuses for what they blame their situation on. Yeah. It could have been something that happened when they were 12 years old, and these people are 40 now, and they're still talking about, well, I had it this way. And we're stuck in that mindset that this is the only thing that we can do because this is where we come from. So you're right about that component to it. Like if you can envision and truly believe that this is what I'm going to be, your mind starts to tell you, well, these are the things you need to do to get to that place. And one of them is like, you got to move away from home, or you got to make these sacrifices. And most people are not willing to let go of that, what's comfortable, to make those sacrifices to move anywhere else. And that's probably why those statistics look so skewed going from the very bottom. Because if you grow up on food stamps or you grow up in poverty, it's what you know. It's what everyone around you sees, and you don't see an alternative without a lot of sacrifice and a lot of going out on your own without any sort of safety net around you.
And I think it's getting worse in the sense that culturally in society, people almost feel like we're being labeled so easily and everyone's put in a box. We're missing, like in the 80s and stuff, you kind of like, you had this this feeling of pick yourself up from the bootstraps, like American dream. You could do it. It's for everybody. Now I don't really hear it anymore.
They're teaching,
well, people are disenfranchised.
They're disenfranchised, but they're not being pushed.
It's so far out of reach for so many people now. Like it used to be like if my parents didn't go to college, neither one of them had a college degree or were educated. It was like, I want to have a good job. I want to have a stable family so that I could send my kids to college so that they can be successful. Now that's not even that, a lot of times it's almost the opposite now. Like maybe they shouldn't go to college and incur all of this debt and then go out and still not be in a place where they're going to demand a higher salary or really understand. Like you can go out and just work for it, and sometimes you'll make it depending upon what industry you're in.
Right.
And I not to like belabor it or get stuck in today, because I wanted to look back on like how the hell did I get here, right? And that's why I sat here for like 4 hours and wrote this. But we live in an excuse world now where there's always an excuse. It's your skin color, it's your sex, it's your orientation, it's your poor, you didn't go to college. Instead of teaching people that, hey, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You have to believe it. And like these 10 steps, when I wrote, I'm like, dude, I should write a little book.
You should.
I think they're pretty good.
That's great.
So the next one is establishing your vision. As soon as you get rid of family trauma, because that's passed down genetically, it's not just your experience. It's in your freaking DNA. So trauma is like in you. It's bred into you. You have to get rid of that. Once you do that, who do I want to be? Like, what's the vision for myself, right? What do I want my finances, my relationship, my faith, my family? Do I want a family? What's my character like, right? A clear vision becomes the anchor that trauma can no longer shake. I thought that's perfect for number 3, right? That's establishing who you want to be. I think building a relationship with a higher power also helps, because it's very clear to me that there's a higher power and you need to align with it. Now, I can sit here and be bitter, have all the trauma, and not believe in God, and I can be a fucking billionaire. But I will not be wealthy. I will not have love. I will not have a soul that elevates. I will not have a good family, and I will not pass down to my children good energy and light. So I think believing in a higher power and building that as part of your foundation in prayer and meditation and intentions, fucking game changer, man. That leveled me up big time.
And higher power could be many different things, right? Well, it's not a Christian God or something.
Yeah, whatever you want to believe in, but I believe that
something bigger than you.
This isn't random chance. We're not just random fucking cells sitting here. And
well, I think it's foundational in so many like beliefs, and not just like from religion to AA. I mean, everything has give away the pressure and put something on someone else or something else to lift you up, kind of thing. Is that like?
Yeah, I mean, you can't rise far in life if you doubt the one that created you, right?
Yes.
I think you'll still be. I think regardless of where you end up, if you don't have a higher power, you will still feel lost.
You're never complete. You can have all the money in the world. Yeah. You can have all the ecstasy through drugs and sex and experience, and you're still going to be missing something.
Yeah.
And honestly, I fell away from God for many years in my 20s, and I felt so empty. Like I just did. And when I found, like, man, when I turned back to God, that was part of my like recovery and my leveling up. And it's important. I teach it to the kids all the time. So it was really important.
I've met so many wealthy people here in the desert. Ever since I've been out here, like I'm one level below you, Mike. And I always thought like I would feel like, oh, I made it, from where I came from. And out here, it's like being poor. It's like
isn't it weird? Yeah.
In Southern California in the desert, if you're in that we've made $400,000 a couple times over the last few years, Marilyn and my wife and I together, which is like
crazy.
It's crazy. But out here, you're just like, oh, like
I'm middle class.
You're like, you're keys, sir.
Yeah. But I have met people and that's in the stratosphere in comparison to where I'm at, and some of them seem really happy and content with their lives, and others like they're miserable, you'd think
miserable.
If they weren't driving the whatever car, you would think that they were on the bottom of the totem pole, because that's the kind of energy they have.
Right.
They have poor
it's what
energy.
You prioritize, and and it's things like wealth. Monetary wealth is is quite a skin deep thing. It really,
sure.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm several notches below all. If I make $100,000, I've had an extremely good year. And but yet I travel the world.
Yeah, you're by yourself.
I have well, I was not by myself for many years. I still.
No, but you don't have any.
I don't have kids. I have 2 dogs. And they eat Costco chicken. They're not cheap. And but I travel the world. I live on my own. I have a good life. I have some good friends there, somewhat, And so I think what I lack financially, I think I make up in everything else. In the last few weeks, months, when I started getting a little bit more spiritual, more religious, reading a lot more. I definitely found that to be even more, because that I went to and went, wait a minute, this isn't that bad. I'm pretty good. Before I was reading.
I'm not going to hell right away.
I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You say you and me. I go, what? No, it's good. Because when I die, there's less to split up. No infighting. It makes me feel good. Not having anyone to take my stuff or pay off the government.
But as you're leveling up, you mentioned one thing, like you have some good friends and bad friends. I started surrounding myself with healthy, strong people as I was trying to come out of that. And
that's why me and Ben are here.
You can't, but honestly, you can't heal in the same environment that broke you, right? Or the same environment that you grew up in. So I seek not only friendship and mentors and a lot of business partners I have in different stuff, because they could add to me. I can learn from them. It wasn't just their credit lines or their money, but it was more their experience and what they could teach me, because they made a bunch of mistakes and I don't want to make them. So they'd say, well, hold up, we're not buying that because of this, right?
You said to me once on those lines about when you change yourself, when you start changing it's surprising how people just disappear who meant the world to you.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone. And all of a sudden you said, I woke up one day, I looked around, who the fuck are all these friends? Who are these people? Like, where'd they come from? Well, it's that whole like frequency, people are around the same frequency. They're around, it's magnetism. And
you gravitate to people that are either like you or you can learn from. I think that really is what it's about. There's so many wealthy people out here, but it's not that you automatically want to just gravitate to them. You're drawn to people that have something that interests you or you can learn something from. That really is true.
But it's hard, right? It's hard to like stop hanging out with those friends that are bad influences. Yeah. It's hard to give up a friendship with a friend that you had since high school because you're just at different levels.
I don't know if it happens to you, but immediately when I go back home to Pennsylvania, which I don't do very often, but I like it's like a fucking switch. Right. And you turn into that. You speak the way that you
go right back to it.
It comes back.
Yeah, you're like ready. You're ready to go to the corner bar. You're ready to like. Anything. And it's just the same shit. It's so easy to fall into the same routine because it's comforting.
It's very comfortable.
And nostalgic.
And to be able to try to befriend somebody that you might feel intimidated by. Like all my partners are way older than me. Most of them. 90% of them. And
most of mine are much younger.
I have to feel confident to say I'm at their level.
Legal, but
but I'm at I'm at their level, right? We can be partners.
Yeah.
I don't work for you. Like so my waking up is like, I don't want to be a broker anymore. I want to be the principal. How do I get there? Right? Well, I got to be on par with my best clients. And now we own buildings together. So that was important. I think developing emotional strength, which I continue to.
Was that hard in the beginning to feel like I have to be in the room and be equals with this like person? Like, did you have to pretend that you felt that way, or did it just come to you?
I just had I had to add value to something that they were lacking, and I had a lot of knowledge in investments. Like they came to me to get the best investments. So if I were able to grab those investments for me and then bring them to them and say, "Do you want to be my partner on this?" It's an escrow. And it's twice the return you're going to get on your last purchase. Why the fuck wouldn't they do that? And I'm going to do all the work and I'm going to put up half the money. Yes, absolutely, I'm in. And before you know it, I'm like, okay, cool. Can you apply for the bank loan? Because like, right? And that was my first couple deals, right? And they'd be like, oh, no worries. I own a bank, right? I'm on the board, right? That was one of my partners. I'm like, cool, yeah, we got the loan, no problem. So that was a big step, and it helped a lot. And emotional strength is really important, and communication skills. And that's not just in business, but it's, with my wife and with my kids, and being able to communicate properly on all levels, on a maturity level that never holds anything inside. And I can't, like, if we got in an argument, you said something right now that I really just was offended by, I would probably think about it for a minute and I would grab you and we go talk in the room because I couldn't go home.
Yeah.
Because literally I think about it all night and like I drive myself nuts. I used to just bury it down and get angry. They used to call me Angry Mike. I had the worst temper because I would just bury everything. And then now
broke holes in so many walls.
Now it's like as soon as somebody says something or disrespects me, it's like, no, what did you say? Come here.
You have to address it immediately.
You don't talk to me that way. Yeah. And it's getting that energy and taking it in and pushing it right back out.
You know, Mike, you've really let go of your Irish heritage, and I'm really not. I'm a little embarrassed, actually. No, I'm the only one holding on to that Irish trauma.
Into your life at home with family. And I think this is probably something for all the people that are watching. Like, I know there's a lot of successful businessmen out there that feel like their family life is lacking because they put so much effort into being successful in whatever business or whatever work they're doing. So how do you translate that like personality that has to take charge of every room? How do you translate that into like being a present husband and father? And it's like almost like it's very difficult, I think, for some people that are always in charge to go home and have an equal in-house and not run their home like they run their business.
This was a big problem for me for a long time. Like I just worked and was completely not present when I'd go home. And I mean,
what changed about
therapy? Honestly, yeah, got a therapist, worked on it personally for a few years, and Samara and I have been doing it as like a couple for a long time. It's helped tremendously. I mean, I'm not as productive. I'm not as financially successful anymore because I'm not like burning it to the ground all the time.
But you're content?
My life,
happy?
Well, no, I'll never be content, but my life is much more fulfilling.
You're present at home now.
I'm present at home. Yeah, like
it's so easy to check out.
It used to be I would come home or be at home, but like my mind wasn't at home. My mind was always somewhere else, and that has been a very positive change in my life.
That's good. That's good advice because I get accused of this a lot because I'm always working or thinking about the next thing that I can do. And it's like when you're working, when you found a way to generate some money on the internet, it's like you're always on your phone. Yeah. So you get yelled at like, what are you doing? You're just playing on your phone. And then I have to remind her, I'm not playing on my phone. I did make money doing this today, but it's one of those things like I have to I have to.
That OnlyFans is working out for you.
I'm working it.
Taking a picture of your foot.
Yeah, I was just going to say, those feet. No,
peanut butter's all over his toes.
That's funny. Like to go back a little bit, it's funny. It popped in my head when we were talking about like friends come, friends go, or you have to be in the room with the people that you want to be with or, make money, or whatever, be successful with. I popped in my head that there was a time when I was the guy on the outside, when my friends from high school, and some of them, were going to another level and I wasn't, and I couldn't keep up. And they were there's this weird crossover part where they're like, hey, we're going to Mexico, we're going to Cancun, and I could not afford it. I was like waiting tables. And I found myself like struggling to keep up with them. And I think they were trying really hard to be like kicking me in the ass. Like, let's go, Anthony, let's go. You're smart. And I just didn't do it. And then they just disappeared out of my life. And now they're kind of trickling back a little bit. And they're wildly successful and all that. But it's odd that I was on the other side of that, Kind of weird.
What's weird is I don't really identify with that so much because pretty much my whole life, my friends, not all of them, but all of the friends that I've had that have mattered, I built all of those friendships on like a more intimate emotional basis. Like we just had very similar thoughts about experience, like life, right? Like just the way that we saw the world and the way that it made us feel. And like one of my closest friends, Johnny, like we've had wildly different life experiences. And we still talk like probably every quarter.
We could always,
we're still really close, even though our paths have been so divergent. And I feel like really fortunate for that. I mean, of course, I would say like I've had, of course, friends like come and go, but it hasn't really been so much like a trajectory based thing. It's just like a day-to-day interest kind of like we're not interested in the
and
same
that's what I mean.
Anymore.
Is like we still are friends. We're friends, but we're definitely not. We're on friends on a different. We're on that level of like I could always call them up, and it's like we never stopped the conversation. Yeah. But I just. I never had the nice new cars. I'm not going on awesome trips. I'm not, we have a certain connection that we always will have, but yeah, I remember that was a tough feeling. Well, being the guy who was being left behind. Because we grew up under the same roof with the same generational trauma and all that stuff. And it's funny how 2 years separates us, but Mike is the golden child of the family now, everyone, it's honestly like, whereas there was a moment where I was in the military and I was the golden child. Everyone loved Anthony. He's going to Iraq, but it was just, we had different paths and all that. But I think it's strictly because I relate to it. People, I heard this somewhere, some VA counselor told me years ago that most people have a fear of failure that pushes them. I have a fear of success. I have trauma on the PTSD side. I've basically survivor's guilt, where I went to war and I saw a lot of people lose a lot of stuff, and I didn't. So I didn't feel I deserved anything. I didn't deserve wealth. I didn't deserve success. Why did, all this stuff. There was a time where I didn't even get my benefits in the VA. Because my mom was like, you deserve this just like anyone else. I'm like, no, I don't. I have you have no idea what they went through. So there's ways of like getting stuck in this trauma thing. I need more ayahuasca, Mike. What the heck? Send me back to Peru.